These are all the power plants on Earth, and among them, China is the country with the largest installed capacity for solar, wind, thermal, and hydropower. When all of its power plants are running simultaneously, the total amount of electricity produced each year is nearly one-third of that used by all of humanity. So, is all that electricity enough? Take Jiangsu province, for example, in a single day. The demand for electricity between day and night is extremely uneven. And throughout the year, whenever the hot summers and cold winters arrive, the power load spikes even more significantly. You can imagine, when the peak electricity demands of all provinces overlap, the pressure on the entire power grid is immense. Yes, we have built the world's largest power supply system in terms of scale, but supplying power to 1.4 billion people still presents numerous challenges. In 2024, we experienced what was, for humanity, the hottest summer on record. The exceptionally high temperatures caused a power load in 17 provinces across the country to break historical records one after another. At that time, what could help people alleviate the power shortages was first and foremost coal-fired power plants, because they can generate power as soon as they're turned on, and their output can be flexibly adjusted. Consequently, from the mines in major coal-producing provinces like Shaanxi, Inner Mongolia, and Shaanxi, to the railways connecting every corner of the country, everyone was working overtime, going full throttle to ensure a stable coal supply. However, it has always had one drawback. Currently, although coal's position in China's electricity structure remains irreplaceable. For instance, in 2023, coal power, with 40% of the country's installed capacity, generated 60% of the nation's electricity. But as long as you burn coal, it will inevitably produce dust and various greenhouse gases. That's why, for a very long time, people have been trying to find ways to make coal clean. Completely and thoroughly clean. Completely and thoroughly clean. For example, mixing coal and straw during combustion together reduces coal consumption right at the source. Or take power generation, for instance, making coal-fired units much more efficient. Can you guess, for a coal-fired power generator like this, how much coal is needed to produce 1 kilowatt-hour of electricity? The answer is 256 grams. That's about the weight of half a bottle of mineral water. For another example, the flue gas it emits can be separated and purified to obtain food-grade carbon dioxide. It can also be collected and injected directly underground. While sequestering the flue gas, it can also force the oil within the rock formations to the surface. At the same time, people are constantly seeking more abundant and cleaner alternatives for electric power. Over the past decade, the clean energy army made up of wind, hydro, and solar power has been gaining ground at an unstoppable pace. Today, its share in China's electricity structure is already close to one-third. In every single kilowatt-hour of electricity you use, an average of 13.6% comes from hydropower, 9.4% comes from wind power, and 6.2% from solar power. However, developing and harnessing these resources is far from a walk in the park. This is Jiangsu. Its natural coastal conditions have blessed it with uniquely abundant wind energy resources, and its extensive coastline and vast tidal flats and wetlands also provide the perfect geographical space for developing wind power. But for all clean energy, including wind power, development is not always smooth sailing. That's because the wind and sun used for power generation are completely at the mercy of the weather and the amount of hydropower available. Depends on the river's height and low water seasons. That's why clean energy power is inherently fluctuating. random, and intermittent. Once it's connected to the power grid, it's highly likely to cause a disruption to the electrical system. So, would it be possible to invent a giant battery that could take the excess electricity from peak generation times and store it to be sent out during off-peak times? Wouldn't that be a way to turn instability into stability? Of course, besides just combining these small batteries to form one massive battery, our brilliant scientists, with their boundless imagination, have also invented all sorts of giant power banks. This is the world's water-based power bank with the tallest dam. By pumping water to a higher elevation, it converts electrical energy into the water's gravitational potential energy for storage. This is the nation's first gravity block power bank. By lifting heavy blocks to a higher position, it converts electrical energy into gravitational potential energy for storage. This is the world's first non-combustion, compressed air power bank. By compressing air into underground caverns hundreds of meters deep, it converts electrical energy into the air's internal energy for storage. Or we can use water electrolysis to convert electrical energy into another clean energy source that's easy to store, hydrogen gas. With the support of these giant power banks, what were once wind, solar, and hydroelectric power bases have been transformed, becoming something like this ... or like this. Or they can even be combined like this into superpower bases. People can also use factors like the weather to predict clean energy generation, and in turn, proactively adjust the power output of coal-fired plants. This helps to balance out the fluctuations from clean energy, ensuring a stable supply of electricity. However, to transmit all this electricity from clean energy sources, we still need a grid, a new type of power grid where the power source, the electrical load, and the storage can all flexibly adjust in response to the fluctuations of clean energy. The Three Gorges Project, the largest hydroelectric project in the world. But very few people know that. Besides this magnificent dam, right on a nearby mountaintop ... right on a nearby mountaintop, those seemingly unremarkable transmission towers and power lines also created another unprecedented Chinese miracle. When they connected the Three Gorges with Jiangsu, the Three Gorges with Shanghai, and the Three Gorges with Guangdong, they also became the first interconnected channels for the state grid and the China Southern Power Grid. Coupled with the continuous extension later on, the ever-growing network of high-voltage and ultra-high voltage lines has now become the world's largest power grid. However, even for the Jiangsu grid, one of China's most developed provincial power grids, if we take a closer look, we can see that there are AC lines, DC lines, and various different voltage levels. On top of that, 99% of Jiangsu's wind power and 67% of its photovoltaic power are located north of the Yangtze River, while the main electricity load is concentrated south of the river. And so, as a continuous stream of clean energy flows into the grid in order to precisely match their irregular fluctuations with other power plants, energy storage, and load demands, a full-scale upgrade has been launched. This is the world's largest AC-to-DC power transmission project currently under construction. By converting the original AC lines into DC lines with greater transmission capacity, the capacity can be increased sixfold, allowing electricity to be transmitted between the north and south of Jiangsu more seamlessly. And in Jiangsu, 8 such power corridors that cross the Yangtze River have already been built. This is the Baihedan to Jiangsu ultra-high voltage DC project, completed in 2022. The receiving station on the Jiangsu side is especially unique. It's like a reservoir. It can take hydropower transmitted from other provinces, adjust the power, and then transmit it within the province. It can also gather surplus electricity from northern Suzhou and distribute it to southern Suzhou, achieving a north-south balance within the Suzhou area. And it's not just the main grid that's being upgraded, the strong backbone of the power network, but also the smart distribution grid that connects to users. Here, the distribution of electricity is becoming increasingly intelligent. For example, with a platform like this, we can predict in advance the generation status of photovoltaic power stations, thus better ensuring power dispatch during peak consumption periods. Not only that, but more and more villages are being transformed into photovoltaic bases. As rooftop photovoltaics are orderly connected to the grid, it not only enhances the grid's regulation capabilities, but the villagers can also enjoy long-term, stable income. But this is still not enough. We also have smart microgrids scattered in various locations. For instance, in this nation's largest vehicle-to-grid interaction demonstration zone, your new energy vehicle can charge the grid in reverse during peak electricity usage, alleviating pressure on the grid, just like a mobile power bank for the network. And in this industrial park, through the planning of the power company, the photovoltaic stations, energy storage stations, and charging stations here, along with production workshops and so on, have all been integrated into a small power grid, achieving self-generation and self-consumption of electricity throughout the entire park. What's even more ingenious is that throughout the entire city of Suzhou, hundreds of such parks are being combined into an even larger system. In addition to meeting their own electricity needs, the surplus power can also be supplied to the grid, which is like giving the grid a virtual power plant. But to get all of these various types of grids operating efficiently, we still need an information network that extends to every corner. These are our ground inspection teams, and these are the sky inspection teams. They've formed around the clock smart inspection team. Efficiency has increased by 60% compared to manual labor, and this is the nation's first holographic digital power grid. It can be used to remotely collect all kinds of data, enabling digital management of the Jiangsu power grid in the cloud. And so, with digitalization, empowered by emerging technologies like smart tech and the internet, even though Jiangsu lacks coal, oil, and gas, it can flexibly utilize all available power resources. At this point, you'll realize that to supply power to 1.4 billion people, we need not only increasingly cleaner power plants, but also more imaginative energy storage stations, and even more so, a comprehensive upgrade of the power grid. In short, what we need is a safer, greener, and more economical new type of power system. It's hard to imagine that over 70 years ago, even with our best efforts, the average person was allocated only 9 kilowatt-hours of electricity per year. Today, that would only last you for 3 days. Back then, we wanted more people to have access to electricity. So it took us 29 years to finally achieve widespread electricity access in large and medium-sized cities. Later, we wanted everyone in the country to have electricity. So it took another 37 years to finally light up every city and every village, becoming the only country in the world to achieve universal access to electricity for its entire population. Today, we want everyone to have more convenient and cleaner electricity, and so this nationwide power system upgrade has resolutely begun. According to the plan, by 2045, this upgrade will be completed across all of China. But even that will not be enough, because as long as human civilization continues to surge forward, this path of energy exploration will never reach an end. This path of energy exploration will never reach an end.